Hello, my friends. I know it has been a while, but I am finally back. Welcome back to Punch in the Mouth MMA. We're gonna start this off by going over this fight card. It just finished a couple hours ago. So Marab Dwal is really defeating Usman Nurmagomedov. Islam Makhachev retained against Renato Moicano. Iri Prohaska gave me a heart attack when he took on Jamal Hill and his strategy. And I'm very unbiased, right? But that's gotta frustrate anybody the way that guy fights. Jolton Almeida looked very impressive against Sergey Spivak. And Rainier de Ritter defeated Kevin Holland. That guy's a problem. Let's start there. So, round one, it opens up. Rainier takes him down, and he's basically controlling and beating on Kevin for the entire fight. And then Kevin tries to roll him over. Rainier ends up on his back and chokes him out with a minute 30 or something like that left in the round. Now, here's the thing, this guy's 2-0. He has a lot of hype. He has a lot of hype behind him because he's coming from one championship, a lot of turmoil with that organization and him. He's 2-0, man. I would like to see him fight top 15. He's a grappler, sure, but the guy's a problem. The guy's a problem. Although off the top of my head, I don't know if I want to see him in the top 10, at least the top 15. Maybe you can even shoot him up to the top 10. I don't know if I would do that, but maybe. Jolton Almeida versus Sergey Spivak again. Another heart attack there, bro. Well, you know Jolton, he's good with the grappling, but he can strike. He can strike. He hurt Spivak on the feet. Once it got to the ground, it was all Jolton. The crazy part was there was 30 seconds left in this fight, and I'm going, there's loads of time here. What's he gonna do? He flattens him out. It looks like he's gonna choke him, but he just starts hitting him. That the ref stops the fight. He wants to fight Cyril. I'm with it, like because there's still that Aspinall Jones mess that needs to be cleared up. I honestly believe that happens. International Fight Week. That's just me. Erie versus Jamal. I mean, that fight was insane. And as much as people don't like Jamal Hill, that guy can fight. He can fight. And finally, somebody decides to go to the body, like I always say. It drives me insane that these MMA fighters don't go to the body so often. Now, I don't fight, right? But if it's there, bro, use it. But Yuri wins. Again, another chaotic fight. The only guy he has not been able to do that to is Alex Pereira. And speaking of Alex, they announced he's going to fight Magomed Ankalaev at UFC 313 on March 8th at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. That's insane. But we'll get more into that fight as it gets closer. But what's next for Yuri, man? Honestly, I would like to see him fight Jan Blachowicz. But I don't know if I heard Jan is booked. I don't know if that's true. But they were saying on the broadcast they believe he's booked. Of course, they also announced Dan Hooker versus Justin Gaethje as the co-main event to Ankalaev and Pereira. That fight's insane. And I'm going to tell you, I like Dan Hooker's chances in that fight because Justin Gaethje is coming off of a knockout loss. Dan Hooker looked sensational in his last fight, man. Looked sensational. Now, co-main event, we're talking about this dude and this dude. It went exactly as I thought it was gonna go. I even said, if you guys listen to the Punch in the Mouth podcast, you heard me say it a few times. This is gonna be the highest level fight, even before it was announced. Like I think before Marab fought Sean, I was saying it. I'm told everybody the fight to watch was Billy versus Nurmagomedov. Either guy could have won the fight, but it went as I assumed it would. Umar winning the first two rounds decisively, Marab coming back, winning the third, the fourth, and the fifth. The only up in the air round in that fight is the third round because there's a case to be made that Umar won that fight. I believe the right person won, but you could make the case that Umar won that fight because that round was close. Okay. But if it's a straight kickboxing fight, Umar wins all day. He did say he broke his hand in the fight. I don't know how much that affected him. I don't want to take anything away from Marab. But I got frustrated with Marab because he takes him down and he's like yelling like he already won. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Make it decisive. And I believe it was the fourth. I want to say it was the fifth round, but I think it was the fourth or the fifth where he like just throws him down and he's like celebrating. I'm like, what are you doing? But like he was feeling himself so much that he was already showboating. Like even when Umar had his back, like Marab didn't let him get his legs tangled in. So even though Umar finished the takedown, Marab didn't feel like he was in any trouble. But dude, this fight was so high level that I want to see it again. Like, who right now can you guys tell me is gonna match Umar's pace with Marab? The only other guy I could think of, and Marab already beat him, but a rematch with him would be very interesting, is Peter Yan. Because here's the thing, Peter had just come off the loss with Sean, and I believe Pete in his mind, Peter's like, I won that fight. I didn't lose that fight. So now that he beat, who did he just beat? He beat somebody good. He beat Vegas and Figueiredo. Davis and Figueiredo. Who's Vegas? Davis and Figueiredo. That fight was good. If you guys didn't see that fight, please go back and watch it. That fight was awesome. And if you want, because he wasn't fast track, but he didn't really fight any other than Corey Sandhagen. He didn't fight any top contenders. If you want, give Umar a top guy. Look at that Henry Cejudo Song Yadong fight because it was rumored that he was gonna fight Song Yadong, but I guess that's when Marab came in and said, "No, I want to fight him. Let me fight him." So that they did that matchup, much like that. Tatiana Suarez was gonna fight Mina Jandiroba, and then that fight went away because they made the title fight. I believe this was a similar situation. So if Song Yadong beats Henry Cejudo, there's a fight for Umar right there. But high level fight, take nothing away from both men. They shouldn't feel like anybody lost because both their stocks went up. Of course, Umar loses his undefeated record. But honestly, in MMA, in my opinion, undefeated records are overrated. So we'll see what happens, man. I can't wait, especially for Umar. Although I will say this, when it comes to the Nurmagomedov legacy, the guy that everybody's going to remember is not Khabib, it's not Umar, it's not Islam. It's gonna be his brother Usman, Umar's brother. That guy's gonna carry that name for a while because he's the Bellator champion right now. I don't see him in Bellator for much longer. He's probably gonna fight out his contract and then go to the UFC. As soon as Islam vacates the belt, Usman's coming. That guy, that guy is something else. And I could be very wrong, but that guy is something else. Makachev versus Moicano. Again, Moicano comes in on 24 hours notice. Here's the thing. A lot of people say, oh, why did Armin pull out? This, and that. I don't know this, and I'm going to be very careful on what I'm going to say, but I believe Armin weighed his options because I don't want to say he could have fought because I don't know the severity of the back injury. But put yourself in his position. If he's not going in, especially with a back injury, if he's not going in at 100%, knowing he'll probably have to grapple his way out of situations, what is he supposed to do when he can, like, that's already a detriment to him. Like, he wants to go, like, this is a second opportunity at this guy. He wants to go in because Armin can grapple with Islam. The question becomes, can Armin match him in the striking? Because I believe Islam his striking is not on par with his wrestling, but it's up there, man. Better than Khabib's. And I'll tell you what, I learned something about Khabib that I didn't know was a thing. I learned that he would only train his striking with Javier Mendez, whereas Islam Usman and Umar they train it when they're in Dagestan. It was said that Khabib would only train stand up with Javier when he would go to AK in San Jose, California, when he would start like his real training camps, where these guys are training striking year round. So could you imagine what a beast Khabib would have been if he would have trained his striking like these guys? I mean, because honestly, other than Hamza Chimaev, none of these guys have that wrestling smothering style that Khabib had. Like they have the option, like, okay, I don't like the way this is going. Case in point tonight, the way Makachev ended the fight, because I told myself, I'm like, okay, let me see this. If Moicano starts having success, where it looked like he started touching him up, but the where Islam supposedly he tripped. That's what the commentator said. To me, it looked like he got hit. Well, I'm like, when he's having enough of that and says, okay, let me wrestle, can Moicano stop the takedown? He couldn't. No, he could not. So what's next for Islam? I want to see the Armin fight. I believe that fight should happen. I believe Armin deserves the fight. Yes, he pulled out, but I see it through his side. Second opportunity with an injury like that, if he can't move properly, like he's at a severe disadvantage, especially with the style Islam is gonna bring. But that's all I got for you guys. Make sure you follow, subscribe, hit the like button, comment below, and all those YouTube things. Peace, guys. Later.